All right, guys, it is Monday morning, bright and early, 6 a.m. here at the shop. I'm heading out to Junior's shop, Bissett Performance. We're going to check on the Glizzard. I got some awesome goodies here, which I don't know if I've talked to you guys about for the Glizzard, but if you guys can tell, it's going to be pretty rowdy and going to get serious. So I got to throw this stuff in the truck. We got about an hour ride to get down to Junior's, and dude, we're starting off Monday right. We got a big week. We're going to get Slick Rick fired up. The Glizzard's getting a bunch of work done, and it's going to be an awesome week. So hopefully I do my job. You guys see this around noontime on Monday. I want to start everybody off with an amazing week, amazing Monday. Go out there, kill it. I know I'm ready to kill it and have a good week, so let's get it rolling. All right, still dark out here Monday morning, so that means we're getting an early start. Fun fact for you guys, if you guys didn't know, I love my dually trucks. This is my Dodge here. I got some 24-inch Alcoas on there. This is one of my work trucks. As you guys can see, it's got some tanks on there. I got another one right there loaded down. That's not a dually, that's just a good old 5-speed. And then I got my red truck here on some American Forces. 24s and 35s is a must if you're out there working. Work truck, show truck, whatever. 24s is the way to go. They're all dirty right now. This is proof that it's a work truck. You know, I get them polished up every once in a while, but sometimes they just be getting dirty. So we're gonna hit the road. We're taking the Dodge today, and off to Bissett Performance we go. Well, I didn't film over at Junior's because I got distracted and got excited. We got Matt here. Matt's just walking around wielding a gun.
It's not mine. I would never be caught dead with a Smith & Wesson.
We got sad news starting off. Really, I think we're really just getting into today's video. I dropped the ball. I didn't film any when I went out to Junior's. I sat in the seats. We got 2 Race Tech seats fitted up in there, and got the steering wheel spacing all figured out. And I just got excited. We talked about some stuff, and then I ended up hitting the road coming back here. My man David, big Ford guy,
Also in the road.
saying goodbye. This is your guy. Saying goodbye. Goodbye to the buff marks. Goodbye to the swirls. Wait, does this come with the mods?
I'm not taking anything off.
No. With the ones
Monster?
what about the ones you didn't put on?
Oh, no.
For the next one.
No. That's for the next one.
For the next one. So David's saying goodbye to this thing. When he got it, it was just like kind of one of those things where he had a fuel pump go out, had to put a whole new sending unit in there, had the fan go out, had a fan controller go out, and then finally David said, you know what, see you later, alligator, and it is out of here. So that's going goodbye. What's on the menu for today? What are we doing? I don't know if people are getting tired of Slick Rick videos. Are you tired of Slick Rick?
Nah, I'm ready. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're just having to,
The
more we work on it, the more we're finding stuff that needs to be changed. So just creates more work.
I'm kind of sick of Slick Rick at this point. It's a lot of work. We've been working on it a lot. Been making good progress. We found some things last night that we had to address. A couple things back here. We're kind of getting the whole engine and everything all done. Got the seat and the steering wheel and all that stuff in there. Back here, we're kind of still in like the mock-up stages of trying to figure things out. We cut some access holes for the anti-roll bar, because the anti-roll bar will swing up, as you guys can see, like that. That's how it will be at ride height, and then as it goes down track, it will come down. The placement of the anti-roll bar tabs are a little bit too far back on the rear end, giving us some gnarly angles.
Yep. So whenever it's at full compression, the heim is actually bottomed out on the and a roll bar arm right here. So we can notch it, but I don't know if that's enough. But really, the angle too at whenever it's at full compression is
Like leaning forward.
Yeah, not ideal.
So there's a couple things when you're ordering your anti-roll bar. If you guys are going to be doing radial racing, have the car set up for extension, get the longest arms possible. So they sell like 6, 7, and 8 inch. So this is like a 6-inch, 7-inch, and an 8-inch. The longer arm makes it so it actually physically travels less. I guess it'd travel more out at the end.
Yeah, your angle would be less though for it to have the same travel, so that keeps it from wanting to go inverted. So you don't get no huge swing in your angle. It's a lot more linear. So
another issue we found is there was a wheel spacer
yeah
on the car, which it's good that we found it. It's bad because the wheels that we ordered now are going to be the incorrect offset. You cannot run a wheel spacer on a drag car.
You already had the wheels, didn't you?
Well, I bought another set, and my alphas and everything are all this 15 by 14 3.5 inch backspace. So if you guys can see right here, I'll zoom in on this lug nut. It's got a part of the lug nut that's not threaded. I don't know if you guys can see. It's kind of tough to like zoom in. It's all polished. Right there, it's pretty good. So as you can see, where it's not threaded, it's larger in diameter. That's where the wheel has to ride. When you run a wheel spacer, it pushes the wheel out into the threaded area, and as you can see, the diameter is smaller, and it creates play where the wheel can actually turn back and forth.
Yeah, so it could be off center, up and down. You know, you could have some vibration. So if you run a wheel spacer, you have to have a threaded, or the stud has to have the threaded portion and then the shank portion, and the spacer and the wheel have to ride on the shank portion. If it rides on the threaded portion, it's too loose. It's not designed to do that.
Oh, I drove a car, actually I did a burnout in a car once that had that same thing, and it had like the absolute gnarliest vibrations ever, and you couldn't get it out. As soon as you take the wheel spacer off, mount the wheels correctly, you're good. So they were 1/2 inch spacers, so the tire's gonna sit a 1/2 inch in. It's not really the end of the world, doesn't look bad. The black sheep, a lot of these drag cars set with it in. When you have it further in, it gives you more clearance off of the fender, especially on something like this. So really no harm, no foul. We found it, and that is kind of a big deal. So we made these new sway bar end links, or anti-roll bar end links, Heims, rod ends, whatever you want to call them. As you can see, they're longer, so those are the proper length. We just need to get the tab on the top or even the front half of the rear end housing. So we'll probably just leave these tabs here, not even bother cutting them off.
Yeah, they might be kind of difficult to get in there and cut off, but we can try it. We'll just see how it is. We'll add the new tabs, and then we'll get all the stuff for the front end ordered up today. We're about to, it's Monday, so like our Monday usually consists of just ordering a bunch of stuff that we found over the weekend. So we got a good A-Tech order. We got some stuff from Tim Camus.
Oh, you mean the guy with all the nice equipment?
Yeah, the guy with the no bullshit there. So we'll get all that overnight and cut the front end apart today.
So we found some issues, essentially, is kind of where we're at. We were kind of just in like the assembly stage, the final assembly, and then the
final assembly is like the dyno sometimes. Like, you find the dyno is not only a tuning tool, you find all your problems on the dyno.
So when we were putting stuff together, like, we got some stuff freshened up. The shocks had a major valving issue, and I think part of it was because of it was grounded and welded through, but I think another part of it was they were definitely in a bind and under some side load. And also, if you go back and look at the videos, it wasn't in the cup correctly.
Yeah.
It was kind of offset in the cup.
Yeah, so the cup angle, it has to be, depending on if you have a pillow ball or not at the top, it has to be exactly right. So like, if your cup angle is incorrect, then your camber will be incorrect, and whenever it's incorrect, you can't adjust it with the control arm because it doesn't pivot. So all that has to be exactly right, and your caster. Usually you want like 10 degrees of caster. This thing was set up for like 3 degrees of caster, so it was going to drive very darty. So we're going to get all that fixed. We're going to get it right in the front end. But we talked about welding before. When you're welding, you always want to have your ground clamp hooked to the closest thing you're welding to, but you also have to remember, Heims are usually Teflon coated, or they have a liner in them. If these things have a liner in them, they don't conduct electricity through here. So if you clamp it to here and then clamp it to here, you're not going straight through here and going to the Heim. You're going whoop, straight through the shock. Shock is the next closest thing that is going to transfer electricity. So all your valving, everything can arc in there, and it can damage the shock. So whenever you're welding, you want to make sure if you're welding on the rear end housing, you'd be clamped right here, welding right here. That way you're going path of least resistance. Just be mindful. Probably what happened was, did some welding on the A-arms, like tacking it up. It was connected to the A-arm, well, he welded up somewhere else, and then it just arcs through the valving and in the shock. So that's one of the things you have to be mindful of when you're doing that. And this car did have a wheelie problem, and I can completely understand why, because the shocks literally had 0 valving in the front. No resistance. Full tight, full loose, no change at all. So that would
Well,
he had 9010s up front.
Yeah. Well, everyone asked for. I did a video the other day talking about Hank, how much it costs, and everyone's like, "Hey, let's hear the breakdown of how much it costs to build Slick Rick." So what we'll do is we'll set the car down so we can go and point out some things. We'll just go over some of the big ticket items, pull the calculator out, and give you guys an idea of what it costs. And we don't do any of these videos to discourage people from building these, encourage people to make bad financial decisions. We solely just do them just to be transparent. You guys asked for it. A lot of people wonder. I see a lot of people speculate in the comments. They're like, oh, that costs 50,000, 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Well, what's it really cost? We'll go over some of the big ticket items and then really go from there.
Underneath.
Yeah, so we'll start right here.
Okay.
All right, let me get my calculator out here. Now, don't go too fast because I ain't a math whiz. Okay. All right, here we are. Start of hay. Set of QA1 shocks.
$1,500.
All right, we'll catch you around.
We got a floater rear end housing, so you have like a non-floater and a floater. Floater's the badass housing. You're gonna spend probably, by the time you get brakes, axles, everything on it, $7,500. Just for the axle.
All right, let's start walking forward.
Member.
Oh, 4-link kit.
4-link kit, third member. Third member, you're gonna spend about $1,500 for a good like Ultra Series case, good ring gear, pro gear, good spool, yoke, and everything.
10 grand.
10 grand already.
4-link kit, brackets for the chassis and for the housing. You're looking at like
$1,500.
yeah, 1,500.
Tubs, carbon. These are sheet metal, but you know usually we do carbon, so you're looking at $1,000 for the tubs. This is just purely what it's going to cost you, not what if you're paying somebody to install it as well.
Yeah. Well, let's just do with bars. You're looking at $3,000 in just tubing for the entire chassis.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is no labor to build the chassis. This is just $3,000 in tubing.
Yeah, potentially more. You know, chromoly pricing is some places it's like $14 a foot.
Anti-roll bar?
$600. And this is like there's some. I mean, some of them cost $1,500.
Yeah.
So,
wishbone.
$400.
These billet brackets right here. I think they're like
$150.
the Quartermax ones are $300.
Yeah, no, these are a lot better deal. TRZs.
Oh.
Got them hooked up.
All right, 150. Shout out TRZ. All right, we're at 17.5. Oh, wheels. Wheels and tires. You're in like $3 grand.
Yeah, probably just for the rears.
Yeah. 3,000. All right. Let's see. Going further forward with it.
Drive shaft 2,000.
Drive shaft 2,000.
For a 1480 PST, you know, with the PEP protection program, and then that's including the Mark Williams yoke.
We got a Mickey 2-speed lockup.
17,000.
Yep. We got a Mickey lockup converter.
6, I think. Brow bell, that's like another $1,500, I think. And then you go with like titanium, it's way more.
We got a Mickey shifter. That's what, $850?
Yeah, no, I think they're like $925 now.
We'll just go $850. All right. Let's see. Big ticket items. I'd say that's pretty good, don't you think? So far, we're at 47.5.
Yeah, for just from the rear to the.
That's really just drivetrain.
The mid plate. Yeah, not including the motor or anything else.
So we'll keep going from the back forward. We got a Stage 3 41X from Proline.
Yeah, they're used or, I mean, anywhere from. Sometimes you can find a deal down in the 40s for like, you know, one that's
clapped.
Yeah.
This thing here is the block has runs on it, and I think they said the block's got 40 passes, and the heads are like 10.
10 freshened up. So I mean, it's basically a newer engine. But if you're just gonna call Proline and say, hey, I need a Stage 3 41X, you're gonna be in like probably 80 or more.
So we'll say, you know, we got to use, but we'll say, what do you want to say?
65.
65.
Yep. So you got that.
That's without an intake.
Yep. So the intake, I think this one for Visner's like $7 grand.
The injectors,
2 sets of 700.
2,500 a piece, yeah, so you have 5,000. Plus you got 2 in the charge pipe.
Oh,
what's that?
2 in the charge pipe.
What's that? Another $500?
Yep. $1,000 for those, 500 piece. These headers probably $3,000.
All right, fuel pump. That we got that with the motor. I don't know if that.
Yeah,
comes...
but I mean, we'll be like, if we got a good deal. So like, if you're just getting one, you're probably not going to get a pump with the motor.
Fuel pump. That's like $2,200.
Yep.
We got the Clearview.
Yeah, that's like the small one. I think it's like $350. System 1 fuel filter, it's like $300. Back pressure canister, it's like $950. Hot side fabrication.
No, I mean, we'll not count that just because it's hard parts. I mean, material wise, I mean, you're in $1,000.
Oh no, more than that, probably
2,000.
1,500, 2,000.
2,000.
Yep.
Turbo Smart. We got wastegates, blow off valves, and everything.
Yep. So you're probably in another 2,000 there. You know, 500 for the blow off valve.
Miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah.
All right, the Hartz Turbo.
I think it's 6,500.
All right. Front wheels, front shocks, front brakes.
Well, struts are 2,500.
Whoa. Are you not saying struts?
Well, I mean, obviously they're struts.
Oh.
I mean, if you had a Mustang, it'd be a strut.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on a sec. We'll just edit that. So you said 2,500.
Yep. AFCO terminators, so spindle mount. Brakes, another, you know, $1,300. Wheels, $1,500, where they're like $750 a piece.
1,800. They went up in price.
Oh.
Plus tires, another $500.
Yep.
All right, this is where we're at right now, guys. 147,600.
Yep. So you got that. Electronics wise.
So let's go in here. Really, you're looking at pretty much 10 grand off rip for electronics.
Yeah, minimum. By the time you buy the Holley, or a Fuel Tech, all the stuff, the Davis, the VPS, all the miscellaneous stuff like ECU Masters PMU. It's one of those things where sometimes, I mean, you could get away. I mean, honestly, we could run this car with a one toggle switch to turn it on and everything on. We wouldn't have any data. I mean, it's kind of one of those things you could spend a little or you could spend a lot, but if you're already at 150, you might as well spend a little bit else to make it all work good.
Exactly.
So 10 grand for electronics.
That's
probably including the battery.
We got race tech seat. We'll just call it $1,000. Harnesses, you know, you got another $200.
And then body. I mean, you got
the car
doors. You got.
Oh God, the front end. $1,000 for the front end. That's like.
No, way more than that probably.
$1,000 for the doors.
Oh, more than. I mean, a set of Mustang doors, fucking $1,800.
All right, so we'll add another 2,000. So we'll say 4,000 for the front end and doors. So we're at.
Yeah, that's probably on the low side.
Yeah, 628. Optic armor all around. You got another 1,000. That's on the low side as well.
Yep.
I'm just really lowballing everyone right now.
Yep.
Flex plate. You gotta buy a flex plate. I think it's $1,000 flex plate.
Yeah, and then you got a starter. It's like a $600 starter. And then you got like stuff like the burn down tank. And this is one of those things like we
have literally built this entire car off pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, we've gotten good deals on things. We've been smart with buying stuff. We've looked for deals. And honestly, there's some stuff that you can't even account for. We have so much. I mean, how much is this thing $200 and $300 you to death? Oh
God, I mean, I don't think you guys understand. I have a list of like everything I've spent since we've got it back, and like when we got it back, we're like, oh, we just gotta like plumb it up and really, you know, fire it up then. And I'm probably in, you know, $10,000-$12,000 of just $20 fitting, this and that. You need this part here is $400. The spacer for the transmission, $700. This here, $165. I mean, it's just nonstop hammering you, and like you're so close, you have to just stick with it and try to get it done.
Marathon, you're like, you can see the finish line. You're about to die, but you just got to keep running.
Yeah. So, you know, I'd say, you know, just the hard parts, no labor. Now we're talking about labor. If you're going to take this to a shop and have them build this, you're probably going to spend damn near $100,000 in labor.
Oh, easily. You know, we spent a lot of time, you know, just doing the chassis. You'd probably spend 30 grand having somebody do the chassis, and then like, you know, tabbing it out, adding all the stuff, doing like the fuel tank, doing, you know, when we're wiring it and we're adding this and we're adding brackets for that and fitting that. I mean, you got to think some of this stuff. Some of it's quick, you know. Some of it you just mount it and you're like, oh, it took 10 minutes, and some of it takes 2 hours. Something that you think that would take 2 minutes, and then You know, just like making everything look good. Mounting the CO2 valve and make sure all the correct hardware's in it and getting it to where everything, all the fittings are clocked correctly, and you use different types of fittings to get it spaced correctly. That way everything lays in there real nice. I mean, you gotta do that. Oh, fire suppression.
We didn't even add that to the list.
Another $2,000 for fire suppression.
So
Steering wheel.
right now we're at about, just off the math, we're at about 165,000. Just so you guys at home kind of understand, just parts wise, no labor, nothing like that, you know, we'll, all said and done, we'll probably be at 170 grand. If you guys were to try to replicate this at home, no labor, and you know, a lot of stuff we did really get. I'd say we probably save. We're
a lot.
Maybe at half.
Yeah.
We're probably at. What do you think we're at right now? Total on this build.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like we've done
really good on. We got an absolutely smoking deal on the motor. Literally 10 grand off on the transmission because I shopped around and found one. I mean, just right there.
Yeah, we got a deal, but it's also, we have a lot of time. If you guys counted how many hours we have in this thing, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So right now we're working for like waitress.
No, not even. Literally less.
Yeah.
Literally
No,
less.
like when they get paid like 67 cents.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's like Matt and I, our hourly rate right now is in the cents, like all day long. So.
But love racing.
Yeah, that's
I'm ready
it.
to see this thing make some laps. I'm ready to take a $200,000 car and go win $3,500.
So, for all of you people that are wondering, that we're just being transparent. We're not showing off. We're not, flexing. We're solely just being transparent. You guys wonder what it would cost. I mean, that's what a build like this would cost.
Yeah, like we're about to redo all the front end stuff. I mean, it's probably gonna be $1,000 in parts and then labor. And if you took it to a shop and you said, "Hey, redo it," I mean, they're gonna charge you. I mean, that if you said, "Hey, it's messed up," and you took it to David Reese or Bickle or anybody like that and you said fix it, you probably pick it up and they'd be like
10,000-15,000.
Yeah, 10 grand.
Just like that.
So.
And trust me, I've got those. You go to pick it up and it's $10,000 more than what you thought it was supposed to. What it was supposed to be, not even what you thought it was going to be. What it was supposed to be, and that's kind of how LS Nasty and Matt's down here, and how this whole thing really started. Is you go to all these other shops and. There's some shops out there that are good. They're far and few between. There's a lot of shops out there that will go after your pocket.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you say, hey, it's gonna be 10 grand. You go, okay, you pick it up. It's, you think it's probably gonna be 15. You pick it up and it's 15. Okay, if the quality of work's really good, you can't really complain. That's one thing. But what sucks is when it's like,
you gotta pick
hey,
it
it's
up.
Gonna be 10 grand. You think it's gonna be 15. They say, hey, it's actually gonna be 20, and then you look at it and,
and they say actually it's 27.
Yeah, it's 27, and it's like, well, shit. Now I gotta redo a bunch of stuff. It's just really, that's what really discourages a lot of people. And building a race car is not for everybody. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you think you have an extra chunk of change laying around, make sure it's enough, because I see so many people, they get halfway through and they're just like, well, I thought this thing was gonna cost 100 grand to build. I'm at 100 grand and I ain't got shit, and I still got another 50 to spend. That's really tough. And then they get discouraged. They get some some stuff that ain't right, just like us. Like, we got to redo some stuff in the front end and the rear end. That's just part of it.
It's not anything to get mad about. It's no one's fault. That's literally the name of the game. Everyone's got their own way of doing it. But
we're not doing. There's a lot of things on the black sheep that aren't correct, and we've just kind of worked around them, and we've spent so much time on this. We're not working around anything. We're not going to have any handicaps. We're not going to go, well, the front end would probably work. It's not right. It'll probably not function as good as it could. It could damage some parts, but we're just going to run it because of time. No, we're going to fix it right, and it's going to be like, hey, the front end's perfect, the rear end's perfect. Everything is how it's supposed to be. That way we don't have any handicaps.
So there you have it, guys. I'm gonna edit this video and get it out to you. You guys want to know how much it costs? There you go. Comment down below what you think. Were you surprised by the budget or the budget? Were you surprised by the price that we gave? Because I feel like a lot of people go here and look at these apps. There's cars out there that are running that are $500,000. You know, people got $500,000-$600,000 in these cars. They're out there running for $5 grand, $6 grand, $7 grand, $10 grand.
Yeah, you don't race this kind of racing to make money.
No,
like there's the only racing that if you're like, hey, I want to race to make money, the only racing that I can suggest you get into is no prep.
Yep.
Because you can take a $20,000. Now some of those cars are very expensive, but you could probably take I think for $20,000 to $50,000. You know, 20 for the bullshit races, but a good race, $50,000. I think you could have a competitive car and go win 50 grand, 100 grand.
Yep. So we got a long day ahead of us. This is our Monday. Thank you guys for watching. Like always, comment, like, subscribe. Go down and click that bell. If you haven't already, go and subscribe to the LSNS YouTube channel. We're uploading there a lot more, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's upload.